All right, yeah, I'm liking what I'm seeing, and hey, guys, what's up? How are you all doing? It's been a hot minute since we've seen each other, and within that hot minute, we have hit 10,000 subscribers. Okay, yeah, sure. Rookie and amateur numbers, right? I know, I wasn't too impressed with them either. But then we hit 11,111 subscribers. That's like 5 ones! Big boy numbers right there. You know, that's crazy. And then I thought to myself, what do I do to celebrate 11,111 subscribers? Well, lucky for me, Elizabeth Johnson had my back and suggested that we do a Q&A session. So here we are. I asked you guys on the channel and on my Instagram to send me a butt ton of questions, and you guys went above and beyond and sent me so much more than I ever could have hoped to even receive. So much so that I don't think that we're really gonna be able to get through like every single question that was submitted, but I'm gonna try to get through a lot of them. We are here to get through them starting right now. So I want to get a very common question that I received out of the way first. What is your favorite SpongeBob episode? I also had a bunch of people asking for like, what's your top 3 favorite? What's your top 5 favorite SpongeBob episodes? Which is a kind of hard question for me to answer. I'm not sure like which one would be my all top favorite or like where the ranking would be. But 5 episodes I really do enjoy. Rip Pants, I absolutely love that one. Who can not like the song in that? It's great, love it. Can You Spare a Dime, Squid on Strike, Artist Unknown, and Shanghai. There we go. There's 5 episodes for you guys. Like I said, I could not structure them possibly to be in the right order, but you know, we're gonna try. There's at least that. Phoenix of the Storm asks, when are you going to do a live action version of the SpongeBob movie? I'm not at liberty to discuss this. Bunny Bolts XZ asks, okay, here are my questions. Number 1, can you give me a shout out, please? Bunny Bolts XZ! I shouted it. You see what I did there? I know, I'm so clever. You guys could have never thought the joke without me explaining it. It's fine, I get it. Number 2, how old are you? I'm 22, just like Scott Pilgrim. And number 3, what is your goal in life? I want to be a filmmaker. That's been my dream for a long ass while. I've always been interested in film. Started off, I wanted to be an actor, and then it evolved into actually wanting to bring a story to life through screenwriting and direction. So that's kind of what I'm on board with right now, kind of what I'm gunning for. YouTubers and other ask, what is your favorite thing about SpongeBob SquarePants? I just love the energy and the optimism of it all, you know, like literally anything could be going wrong, but as long as you've got your friends, then that's all that you really need to keep moving forward with a smile on your face. Of course, whenever you're a kid, you're just gonna be like, oh yeah, it's so funny and colorful and bright and everything. And then whenever you're older, you're able to appreciate more of the deeper and more subtle themes that were being presented in the show. Same thing goes for the SpongeBob movie. A lot of people will be like, oh yeah, it's a fun kids movie, but I see something a little bit deeper in there, you know? It's SpongeBob coming to terms with who he is and everything, and that it's okay to be childish and a kid at heart, you know, as long as you're accepting yourself, and you shouldn't try to change for anything. I just like the subtlety that's added in there that you could really appreciate whenever you're older. That and the jokes just land funnier. But yeah, that'd have to be my favorite thing, is just the heart of it all. It's just overwhelmingly abundant with that show. It's fantastic. I can't exactly read Russian characters, but someone, Russian name, I'm sorry, I really can't pronounce it because I just can't read it. Are you a mixed race? Yeah, a lot of my family comes from Spain and Italy, but the overwhelming majority of it comes from Italy, so there's just a lot of Italian in my blood. Spanish and Italian is what it is. Heim Howler asks, who or what is your biggest inspiration? What are your hobbies? And what do you do for a living? Love your content. What made me want to be a filmmaker was the movie Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, Edgar Wright's 2010 film. I'm sure many of you guys are familiar with it. It's kind of amazing and one of the best movies ever made. Wholeheartedly believe that. Yeah, and just watching that movie, just the way that it came to life on screen, just, I don't know, it made me want to step behind the camera more and bring a film to life. I would have to say another big inspiration for me was also Smosh on YouTube. Around the same time I found them on YouTube, and just seeing that two friends could just get together and make all these YouTube videos and stories and everything really fueled that idea that Edgar Wright set up for me to make movies. And these guys, Ian and Anthony, were like huge inspirations for me, man. I used to have my hair all emo and parted like Anthony did. I'm sure if you dig through my Instagram deep enough, you'll find pictures of me with my emo bang bangs, as I like to call them. But yeah, those guys definitely made it something that I felt was possible for sure. Just two regular guys just making these videos, and suddenly it was possible for just me, this regular person, to grab a camera and make videos. And so yeah, I did that. My first video I ever made and uploaded to YouTube was in February 2012. I know Alyssa asked a question on here where she wanted me to talk about that video a little bit. It's called AAAB, Anti-Alien Anal Bursting. It was it was supposed to be a fake infomercial is what it was. Essentially, oh, you get probed by an alien and you need some kind of medicine to help you not die whenever this alien bursts out of you, essentially. And so that was what that was. If you find it, it's rough to say the least, but I keep it on that old YouTube channel because it's a piece of history. It's where my filmmaking capabilities started. First camera I had was a Kodak PlaySport camera, and that's what I recorded that video on. Very rough around the edges, but I mean, it's there, and I'm glad it is. It's fun to look back on, honestly. A little bit embarrassing, but I mean, you gotta start from somewhere, right? What are my hobbies? I like to shoot videos, you know, every once in a while. I also really like to go out and take pictures and stuff like that. Me, Caden, we'll all get together and we'll just go out and take photographs of literally whatever we can and of each other. A lot of what's being shown off right here. I really love climbing stuff. I'm terrified of heights, but for whatever reason, I love to climb things. As for what I do for a living, I breathe, I blink, I eat, I sleep, and I occasionally use the toilet, but no more than 3 times a day. And I also cry every now and then. But that's fine, you know, gotta release all of those negative emotions some way, right? I'm okay, I promise. Ramil asks, when are you going to start a Patreon page? Would love to support you guys in a more personal way. You're not the first person to ask us about this. We've actually had a pretty good handful of people say that they'd want to support us in some way, which would be wonderful because those SpongeBob videos get pretty expensive to make. That's the reason why it takes a while for us to get them out, is because we have to gradually buy the props for the next video that we're making. So we have to prepare for this like a while in advance. I don't have one right now, but I have been looking into starting one up, so I hope to make an announcement that we have one here soon. But yeah, in the meantime, I sell shirts on Teespring. I have a link to it down below. I've got a bunch of fun shirts, including a shirt that is featured in our streams for Among Us at twitch.tv/ChristianNotJ. If you guys want to support that, you could buy a shirt. We get like $10 from each shirt, so feel free to check those out. Stephanie Phillips asks, what inspires your creativity? Will you all do another music or song parody? Yeah, I've actually got lyrics for another music video. I obviously just gotta record it and everything, and then shoot a music video for it. But yeah, I don't think that'll happen for a little while, just because we have a couple other projects that are coming up. But we do have the song on standby ready for whenever we have the time available to bring it to life. Whenever it's right, whenever the world's ready for that, you know? They're not quite ready to listen to my vocal pipes let loose again. So I got a few people asking this next question right here. Why did you start SpongeBob videos? So I actually touched on this in my I Shot with Nickelodeon video. But I'll just briefly recap it. So essentially I went into audition for SpongeBob SquarePants in the SpongeBob Musicals tour. And I was this close to getting cast. I got callbacks and everything, and then at the last second they told me that they weren't gonna cast me because I was too tall. So I didn't get the part, and hence why I'm here. John came up with the idea of, well, why don't we just remake an episode so you can play the part? So we recreated Club SpongeBob, and that got pretty good attention on our channel. It was like a couple thousand views, which was more than anything else that I put out on the channel had made. And so then we decided, okay, sure, why not? Let's remake another one for Halloween since it's right around the corner. That's the one that took off really well, and that's still doing really well on the channel. And so here we are. We decided, yeah, this might as well be a project that we come back to every once in a while whenever we develop the funds. Rianne Addy Weejat Miko, I hope I pronounced that right, or I'm close. I know I didn't, I'm sorry. Asks, how long do you guys plan on making the SpongeBob remakes? I have a plan of 4 years. I don't really want to get too into detail with this plan, but I've got this thing thought out for quite a while. So if all things work out, then 4 years is how long we'll be doing this for. So yeah. Tawanya Costa asks, what will you be for Halloween this year? I've got no freaking clue. Your guess is as good as mine. Case Kirby, hey Case, asks, where were you born? I was born in Fairfield, California, June 30th, 1998. The Panimation Podcast asks, what do you think of modern Cartoon Network and Nickelodeon? I don't really watch either channel too much, actually. That's just me not really having much of the time to watch them. If I get the opportunity to, yeah, I will, but it's just been like more recently, within like the last few years, I've just been more like watching movies rather than like just sitting and watching something episodic. If it's something that I'm really looking forward to, I think the last TV show I watched episodically, like on TV, was Watchmen, HBO's Watchmen, which I freaking love. That was one of my favorite things that came out last year. I'm sorry, I take that back. Curb Your Enthusiasm season 10. That was, I think that was the last thing that I actively kept up with on TV every week, which, if you don't watch Curb Your Enthusiasm, please do so. It is absolutely wonderful. I adore that show. And if you haven't even watched Watchmen, Kate and Kirby, I'm looking at you. Watch it, please, because that is one of the most important things that you can watch. It is so well done. Every little thing is just absolutely freaking fantastic. I can't recommend it more enough. It truly is something special. Nami Estelle, I really hope I spelled your name right. I see you all the time in my comments and I love responding to you. I'm sorry if I butchered your name, I'm so sorry. If I did, please leave a comment telling me how to pronounce your name. How do you see yourself in 10 years from now? Well, if all things go well and we're not dead from the coronavirus, I would definitely love to be working on like actual films with my friends and everything. Hopefully you see me, Caden, and Pete's names shining in flashing bulbs one day on Hollywood premieres. So that's the goal right there. And fingers crossed I'll have a tattoo all down this arm. It's Ellie's tattoo from The Last of Us Part 2. Because those games mean the world to me, as I've explained before. So hopefully I'm still active, alive, and kicking. And hopefully we're not on fire because, you know, global warming and all that fun stuff. I am Christian1129 asks, do you have a favorite Marvel hero? Spider-Man, easy, hands down. Porcelain asks, Sonic or SpongeBob? Or better yet, Sonic versus SpongeBob. I mean, SpongeBob literally can't feel anything. Like, you had Flats punching him for like hours on end and he was perfectly fine. It was like he was absorbing the blows as if he was made out of some sort of spongy material. Yeah, so maybe SpongeBob, because SpongeBob can't really get fatigued, but Sonic the Hedgehog can get fatigued after a while. Batman and Robin 89 asks, do you believe in magic in a young girl's heart? Listen, I'll tell you about the magic and it'll free your soul, but it's like trying to tell a stranger about rock and roll. Raquelosaur asks, but where did Stalker asshole come from? Well, geographically, Florida. I'll say that much. There's a couple other questions about him in here from what I saw, so we'll slowly unravel this mystery. I got a couple questions in here asking about my podcast. Jamie asks, is Real Talk discontinued? No, it's on a hiatus right now is what I would say. Simply because just the sound quality of it all, I wasn't happy with. I can't physically bring myself to put it out there if I'm not satisfied with it or if I don't think it really meets my expectations of where it should be. And it's not so much just about the sound equipment, it's just about like where we record. I want a better place to record in that doesn't have a ton of reverb, that really muffles what you're hearing. Cause my equipment it's decent. My sound equipment's, it gets the job done. It doesn't sound awful. It's a lot better than just using the camera's stock microphone. So it just comes down to a matter of where to record these segments, because it's just the reverb. It really kills the audio in my opinion, and that's kind of where the project's at right now. It's just on hiatus. I want to do it again so badly. I think it's a ton of fun just to get together and discuss movies. So hopefully we're able to do that again. Fingers crossed. The Price of Pain asks, will you ever do other live action cartoons that aren't SpongeBob? I don't really have any interest in trying that out. I've seen a couple people ask this on other YouTube videos, but I'm not sure. I don't think that's really something that I'm really going on an avenue towards doing, so I don't know. I don't think so. It's unlikely. Mile T asks, man, you are so cute. For reals, you're my crush. That's flattering to hear. That's not something I hear often, so it's flattering. I appreciate that. Lassiderminator asks, favorite game console and top 3 games for it. I'm a PlayStation guy. I had the original Xbox growing up, and then around like 2008, I got a PlayStation 3 to play Sonic 06. Oh god, what a mistake that was. And then I naturally upgraded to the PlayStation 4, which I've had an absolute blast playing on. I think the PlayStation 4 would probably have to be my answer. Games like God of War, The Last of Us, Part 1 and 2 are both on there. Uncharted 4, which I think is the highlight of the entire franchise. There's just so many great games. Lexi Bitch asks, when in your life did you realize you want to make movies? Also, top 10 favorite movies. So, yeah, I'll drop in the top 10 favorite movies, which is kind of hard for me, but I'm gonna name off some films that I absolutely love. Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, Baby Driver, The Iron Giant, the SpongeBob SquarePants movie, Drive, Knives Out, Place Beyond the Pines. Oh, Jesus Christ, I'm having a hard time thinking of 10 movies without my Blu-ray collection right in front of me. Into the Spider-Verse, that's another great one. Spider-Man 2, who could go wrong with Pizza Time? That is essential to this channel. And Hereditary. I will fight on this hill that Hereditary is the greatest horror film ever made. It is freaking perfect, and I love showing everyone that movie. It's fantastic. Now, if you ask me to order those in terms of like, okay, here's first place, second place, I can't do that. But yeah, those are 10 films that I really enjoy. Damie 1993 asks, how did you first meet your creepy perverted stalker? Yeah, here we go, back into the mystery. We're starting to unravel it a little bit. Yeah, so this guy back in February messaged me from one of the SpongeBob videos. It was Club SpongeBob is what he had watched. It was February 18th, 4 days after I got to experience the glory that is the Sonic the Hedgehog movie. What a wonderful film. Anyway, so he messaged me after watching the Club SpongeBob remake, and he's like, hey, I like the remake that the video that you did. And I was like, great, that awesome. Keep an eye out on the channel. We're gonna post some more content and such. And then he just immediately asked for my phone number. And I'm not gonna give a random person on the internet my phone number, so I told him, nah, I'm sorry, I'm not gonna do that. And then he was like, okay, well, add me on Facebook. And I told him, no, I'm sorry, I only reserve that for like people that I actually know. And yeah, he just kept on asking about that, and so finally I was like, okay, well, I'm just gonna stop responding. And then once I did that, he started like calling up where I worked and got a hold of one of my coworkers' phone numbers and started calling and harassing her. Just gross stuff and like trying to send them nudes and stuff. And this is an underage coworker, she was 15. So yeah, no bueno, this guy is, he's gross. Yeah, and he just started harassing like everyone that I know, like even people that I loosely had a connection with. Like people that Caden knows that live all the way up in Pennsylvania that I've never even met. He's harassed them and friends of theirs and everything like that. Like, it's crazy and freaking ridiculous and stupid and pointless. We block him obviously, but then he just makes all these new accounts. At the moment he has 90 Instagram accounts and almost 100 Snapchat accounts that he's made trying to follow me on all of those and contact us and such. So it's a headache, and it's been almost daily since February 18th. Every time I see that name pop up in my notifications, I want to just like corner of a desk and just bonk my head on there. Hopefully knock myself out or wake up and everything's a-okay and it was all a nightmare and a dream. I will say that is the one downside to being somewhat popular on the internet. That is the one downside, this one guy. All the rest of you people, the rest of you sane people are wonderful. I love you all, you're great. Thank you for not being weird and creepy and and everything. I appreciate you having some kind of restraint. Oh my goodness, this guy's a headache. If he reaches out to you, block him. I've got all that. I've got more information about it on my Instagram story, but that's where that all started. Well, speak of the devil and he shall receive, because I'm in the middle of editing this particular question, and what would you know, he goes ahead to try and add me on Snapchat for like the 100,000th time. It's exciting. It really is. Draw Closer asks, how did you get on the SpongeBob game show, and would you do it again? Would I do it again? Yes, easily. Oh no, she's back. The bearded dog beast is back. She looks like an old man, but she's like only 3 years old. Gross. Okay, she's gone. Thank God. Hey, it's Alyssa. I haven't seen you in a little bit. I miss you. Yeah, so would I do the show again? 100%, yeah. It was a ton of fun to work with Nickelodeon and everyone that was on that set. How did I get on it? I detailed it a lot in, well, I mean, it's an entire video on my channel, how I shot with or how I got to shoot with Nickelodeon, I believe was the title. I'll throw a card up here somewhere, wherever that pops up, and yeah, go ahead and watch it. Essentially, I sent Nickelodeon a tweet with a link to the Club SpongeBob remake, because that was the only remake we had at the time, and they actually watched it, and they're like, hey, wanna be on this project with us? And I was like, hell yeah. So up to New York I went, and we shot that. That's the really condensed version. I go into a bit more detail, a lot more detail in the video. So check that out. Oh boy, my camera is about to die. Darrell the Realist, aka Will, asks, did you poop your pants? Dude, come on, seriously? I haven't done that since Tuesday. No big deal. Chacho Bros asks, opinion on Cats 2019. I figured seeing it with friends would make it bearable. No, it's a movie that is damn near unbearable even with friends. I think that there could be a fun drinking game out of that every time they say the word jellicle, but then like thinking in hindsight, someone would probably die if you tried to tackle that. So yeah, what a way to go. Charlie Check 121702 asks, what type of pickle would you be? Well, considering I'm not too knowledgeable on pickles, I'd have to say dill pickle. Just a pretty average pickle, I know, I'm sorry. I just don't know too much about pickles. I guess if I had to go with a brand, I'd be Big Papa. Chaz Chavara, I hope I'm saying your username right, asks, which Great Lake is the best? Superior, duh. Birds Aren't Real. Abilene asks, do you believe in birds? I mean, if you're talking about like those little like government spy drones that they have to put batteries in every once in a while, then yeah, I mean, why else would we be like under quarantine and lockdown? There's no such thing as coronavirus. This is just the government taking all the pigeons that they've made and just replacing their batteries. That's all that it is. Frankie Joaquin asks, what was going through your mind when coming up with the SpongeBob costume? I tried to actually base all the costumes in our videos off the Broadway musical, so off of David Zinn's costume work. Zyrene Kalingo, I hope I pronounced your first name correctly, asks, favorite video that you filmed? I really like Zoo Pals. That is probably the first video I put on this channel that I was genuinely super duper proud of. A fun bit of trivia about that video. Almost exactly 1 year after that video was uploaded, the local white tiger at our zoo had passed away, like just randomly, like it just died. What makes this interesting, what makes this a fun fact, if not morbid, is that there was a deleted scene. I was supposed to walk by the tiger enclosure, and originally we were supposed to get a shot of the tiger, but he was kind of hiding out in like his little igloo, his little rock cave sort of tiger igloo thingy. I was using the standard kit lens that came with my camera in the first place, which is complete trash. And so it just couldn't pick up the tiger in the shadow at all. So I just made the joke like, oh, the tiger is just lying there in that cave over there. He hasn't come out in a couple days though. I think he actually might be dead. Can we get someone to check on that tiger? And it was something like that. I'm sure I got the footage of that somewhere. But yeah, so that was originally the joke, and then at the end of the video, in the actual video that's included, that Karen walks up to Kevin and she says something about how the tiger's been sick and how they have to put it down. And so a fun, morbid fact, whatever you want to call it, but we predicted the tiger's death like almost an exact year before it actually happened. Tall Jug asks, plan on having kids? I don't know about that one. That's something. I'm not sure. Maybe someday. If I do, and if I ever have a son, I'm for sure naming that kid Atreus from God of War. I have to. And then if I have a daughter, her name's gotta be Ellie. Tall Jug asks a final question. What's it like having the biggest wiener in town? It's all fun and dandy until, you know, people are just using you for that. Every one of my relationships, tier. Well, except for one, but you know, all the other. Jesse Cruz Official asks, did you get to play the SpongeBob game for PS4? Yeah, JT and I actually streamed through the entirety of Battle for Bikini Bottom on my Twitch, twitch.tv/ChristianNotJ. In one 16-hour sitting, we beat that game. Like 100%, we got the secret ending and everything, so that was fun. It was a good time. We had a good time. Except for that damn kelp forest sled, that was awful. That was miserable. I am Christian 1129 asks, do you have a favorite Disney movie? Tangled. Tangled's fantastic, and it hurts my soul that it's only just now getting a Broadway adaptation. Like, what the hell? Frozen's gotten one like right after that movie came out. Tangled had to wait all this time, even though Tangled is the far superior film to Frozen. Like, Frozen doesn't even come close to holding a candle to Tangled. I will fight anyone to the grave for this. Like, Tangled is superior, man. Jane Ann C.S. best coffee in town. Well, I worked at a coffee shop for a long while. And then, you know, the owner's not a good guy at all and does not know how to run his company. The only reason why that store stayed open is because Alyssa busted her ass working over there whenever he refused to even help out with the store. He was using the money from the store for his own personal vacations, which, cool, you know, business owner, you can do that, I guess, but like, it shouldn't interfere with the business to the point where we can't even buy our daily groceries for like fruit and whatnot. Like, we couldn't buy strawberries for our toppings and everything. It wasn't in the best hands. Alyssa really did try her best, and then I tried to keep things running there for a while, but you know, shit hits the fan whenever the owner is a complete scumbag that abuses his family as well as his workers, so you know, there's only so much you could do there. So definitely not those guys. You know what, we actually made a video of it where we made coffee blindfolded and Alyssa said mine was the best, so there we go. Best coffee in town, right here. Come get your coffee made by me, I guess. R.H. Malin asks, how does it feel to be YouTube famous? I don't know if I'm necessarily YouTube famous, but it's really cool. I've been recognized here in town, like on a handful of occasions, more than likely from like friends of friends of friends, you know, rather than just like, oh, some random person who just happened to find us on YouTube and happened to conveniently live in the same town, you know. But it's still really cool that people are like, oh, hey, you make videos on YouTube, right? Yeah, I've seen your work. It happened to me with the cashier at Target. That was really cool. It's neat for sure. It's neato. I've only encountered like wonderful people so far. Like I said, the one downside to all of this has just been Stalker McGee. So that's literally been like the one downside to being popular, I guess. But everyone else that I've had conversations with, they've just been wonderful people. Drew Unicorn asks, if you could, also, killer name by the way. If you could talk to any celebrity, dead or alive, who would it be? I would love to meet Steven Hillenburg, man. I would love to just shake that guy's hand and just tell him what his creation has meant to me. That's something I've always wanted to do. I'd also love to meet Stan Lee for the same purpose, you know, and just be like, hey, your character means a ton to me. I'm sure they both heard it like dozens and dozens of times, but you know, I don't know. You know, gotta show that gratitude somehow. I'd also love to meet Chester Bennington from Linkin Park, their late singer. God, I grew up with Linkin Park music, so they're always going to have a very special place in my heart. I have every single one of their albums on vinyl. That's another integral piece for me too, man. I would have loved to meet Chester Bennington. Always wanted to go to one of their concerts, and my friend Anne, who lives in Germany, got to see them right before he passed, unfortunately, and she said that they were amazing to see live. So I totally envy you for that, Anne. Drunicorn also asks, pineapple on pizza, yes or no? I'm not 100% against it. Like, I could eat like a slice or two if it's lightly covered in pineapple, but like eating too much of the pineapple, I don't know. I feel like that's just too sweet and I don't really dig that. I love pineapple by itself, but like with pizza, I don't know. It's not my favorite thing. I'm not totally against it, but I do like being on the side of the argument that's like radical. No, this is the worst thing on the entire planet and you suck if you like pineapple on pizza. But at least we can all agree that kiwi on pizza is a true enemy, so we have something to band together for. Susie.exe asks, why is Red sus? She's asking me why I'm sus whenever she's the one who did this.
Why is purple guy?
Oh, fuck, what the hell? How do I do this? No? There we go.
Hey guys, want to see something cool? Look at purple guy real quick.
Lizzie Jean 45 asks, how long do you want to do YouTube for, and do you intend on doing any types of collabs? I'm totally down for collaborations if I'm able to reach them, you know. I've seen people mention like, oh, you should do a collab with the Froyo Gamers because they also do live action SpongeBob remakes too. So yeah, just a quick little interruption again because literally while I'm editing this video, this comment was left on the Graveyard Shift video, so maybe someday? Yeah, I'm totally down for collaborations. I really like working with other people, and I like bringing other people's artistic capabilities onto a project because, you know, maybe they're going to see something that I don't exactly quite see. I definitely prefer working in a group more than working on my own, even though I like doing most of the work myself, but I still like having input from other people just to make sure that I'm steering it in the right direction, you know? As for how long I want to do YouTube for, as long as I humanly can. I don't know, YouTube's been like, always been a part of my life, essentially. Like even just watching it back in the days of like Smosh and Ryan Higa. It's just always been something that I wanted to do, and here I am doing it now, and I actually have an audience like the big guys that I used to watch myself. Maybe not as big, but I mean still it's an audience that I get to interact with and such and be grateful for, so you know, that's pretty cool. So as long as I can do it and as long as more people want content, then you know, I'd love to try to keep on putting out more content. Tywer Twong asks, least favorite SpongeBob episode? That is actually a very easy question for me to answer. I do not like the episode Gone, I believe is the title of it, where SpongeBob wakes up one morning and everyone in town's gone and he's just there by himself, and you find out at the very end that it was National Ignore SpongeBob Day or something like that, and that like they all just had this holiday built around just like hating him and trying to get away from him for one entire day, even Patrick, his best friend, and it just breaks poor SpongeBob's heart. I don't like the episode at all. It just feels very mean-spirited. I don't like it. I don't vibe with it. Susie.exe asks, want to see something cool? No. Emma Spammy asks, ducks? No, they kind of suck. They're awful creatures. I don't like ducks, and if you want to know why, I won't get into it, but I'll let Z Frank get into it. So just search up True Facts About the Ducks by Z Frank. Porcelain asks, hardest part about making YouTube videos? I would say that's just like creator's block, you know? Sometimes you're like, you have like a bit of a good idea and you get going with it and everything, and then you just kind of get to a point where you're like, ah, frick, I don't know if this works or what needs to change, or if something doesn't need to change, or if like maybe it just doesn't sound good to me on paper but it'll look all right in execution. That's kind of usually how it is with like a lot of my own original ideas. I'm like, I don't know if this works on paper, but then like once we get to filming, I'm like, oh, this feels right. This feels like it's working. So hopefully it's working. Porcelain also asks, who is even editing these? Because they could totally get a job from the quality man. I do all the editing myself, essentially. I would say like some of my proudest moments have got to be with Zoo Pals. Just the editing on that one, like how it has to go to the beat of the music. I feel like I did a pretty good job at doing that with a, at the time, very crappy and poor video editor, but I feel like I did a pretty good job with that. I know Kaden wants to edit together some behind the scenes for the SpongeBob videos that we've made. If you guys want to see that, drop comments down below, and if there's enough interest for it, Kaden will put that together. V-Lay, I hope, she was our giveaway winner, asks, how do you edit your videos to match the original episodes so well? Whenever I figure out what episode I want to make, I'll just go ahead and I'll watch the actual episode on Amazon Prime and listen for all the music, and I will take the music, chop it up to however the actual episode has it structured, which a lot of the time the songs are a whole mishmash where like they'll take the beginning, they'll move the beginning of the song to the middle of it, they'll take the ending of the song and they'll put it to the beginning, and they'll take the middle of the song and use it at the end. Like they'll just remix the song. So I try to listen to those sound cues and figure out how the song is structured, how long it plays for, and about where in the song ends. And then I just kind of guesstimate about like how far between each track it is, and that's kind of my general guideline of where to place the footage. And then we just fill in the gaps with the actual footage in between that, and if any music tracks need to be moved around to allow more time for the footage to play out, then once I have all the footage placed exactly where I need it, I go through and I do all the sound effects, which damn near drives me to insanity. All those footsteps sound effects, it's awful. But it's worth it in the end. That's probably my favorite part of it, even if it is very tedious. Ashley May Law asks, when are we gonna hang again? I'll let you decide that. you reach out to me first. I'm available like anytime, but I don't know your schedule. But yeah, you let me know. She also asked, no, but for real, what is a project theme you've always wanted to do? I've always wanted to do something that really connects to other people, kind of the same way that The Last of Us really connected to me. That's like kind of my biggest ambition and my goal as a filmmaker, is to just make at least one thing. One original idea that really connects and speaks to people, something that people can really relate to and understand, and maybe even something that makes them question things about themselves. Cameron the second asks, are you bi, straight, or gay? This is it, people. This is a question I have waited my entire internet career to be asked. I, Christian J, am straight. Much to my sister's disappointment. She would always tell me, I wanted a gay brother, but yep, sorry about that, sister. Yeah, no, I'm as straight as a board. Doesn't change the fact that I'll die alone. And that does it. That's all the questions, folks. It's that was a lot of questions. Yeah, I tried answering as many as I could. But you know, for purpose of time and everything, we don't want this going on for hours and hours and such. But thank you so much for asking all these wonderful questions. And thank you so much for subscribing and joining in on my journey. I really hope you guys stick around. I hope you guys enjoy what we're coming up with next. We've got a short film that is almost done. It just needs a couple more days of shooting and then a couple weeks of editing or so. I'm guessing it'll probably be out about like mid-October. And then right after that will be another SpongeBob remake, so don't you guys worry about that. It's coming. Yeah, but yeah. Thank you so much. You guys just continue to impress me every single day with how much support you guys are able to give. I am looking into starting a Patreon, so I should probably be making an announcement about that pretty soon, about what all those perks are. But in the meantime, if you guys want to hang out and talk and stuff, you guys can join me on Twitch, twitch.tv/ChristianNotJ, and watch me play games with a bunch of friends. We've been playing Among Us a lot lately, so yeah, you guys can watch us rage and accuse each other and try to defend one another and whatnot. It's been a blast. We've had some really good games on there so far. I hope you guys all have a wonderful rest of the day. Get some sleep, you know, take care of yourselves. Don't be a creepy stalker person. Please don't. Don't beat your family members. That's another moral we learned here. Thank you so much, guys. I will see you in the next one. So remember, like, comment, subscribe. Bye!